Welcome back. It's still very much talking time for politics. Everywhere you turn, it appears a very vibrant political atmosphere with contentions, alignments or realignments, depending on the characters and actors involved. And speaking of which, we're headed to River State now, where it appears as if there just may be an interesting turn of events. Remember all of the drama and the contention between former governor and current governor that brought us here. Well, it appears as if the governor has now entered the race, if there's anything to go by. APC stakeholders have secured expression of interest and nomination forms for the governor of River State, Simlai Fubara. And of course, this took place last Friday, and they were led by a certain Mr. Awaji, Honorable Awaji Inombek Abiante, who is a member of the House of Representatives. And so let's find out what this means for the political dynamics for River State, especially, with what appears as if a now settled scheme of things between former governor of River State, Wike, and the current governor. Is the former governor also sponsoring other candidates? Well, he has spoken to that during his most recent media chat, saying he hasn't supported any candidate. But let's have our guests, weigh in on this. And as we welcome Mr. Iponabo from River State. Yes, indeed. Mr. Iponabo Enko-Taria is a former special advisor to former governor Nyesom Wike, and joins us virtually on the program. Mr. Taria, good morning, sir, and welcome to the Morning Brief.
Good morning, Bokala and Kayode. Good morning, Nigerians.
Indeed. Now, some would say it's an interesting turn of events when we saw the purchase of expression of interest and nomination forms for the governor by some whom others would have considered actors in this political game loyal to former governor Nyesom Wike. What do you think has altered the scheme of things as far as politicking is concerned in River State?
I'm yet to fathom what you mean by altered, because I don't think at any point in time the governor of River State said he was going to abnegate his ambition to contest in the 2027 election. I don't think so. And given the organic support the governor has in River State, persons, even if the governor decides today to abnegate his ambition, there will be mounting pressure, serious pressure on him to contest.
Well,
because of what
Mr. Taria, the
yes.
premise of the question is, from the peace pacts that brought us here in the first place. Of course, it was spoken of in hushed tones. It wasn't documented this time around. The second intervention by Mr. President, where it was revealed behind closed doors that one of the conditions for the peace this time around was that the governor was not going to return for a second term. Of course, I'm sure that you're aware of that, even if you would not acknowledge it in your response, but would like to know what your response would be to that. And also, in addition to that, we know that federal legislators from River State had defected to the APC in what was perceived as a declaration of support for the former governor of the state. So that's the premise of the question.
Okay. Bokola, I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, sir, loud and clear.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay,
I can hear you.
Yes. Like I said the governor himself has not come out. What you're saying, these are just snippets of information cobbled together. The governor has not come out to say. I'm not saying I'm not aware of the rumor, like you rightly said, but he has not come out to tell Rivers person he's never going to contest. That's the point I was making. And again, even if the governor says he's not going to contest, there will be mounting pressure on him to contest. Like you saw, and you rightly said, expression of interest form was bought for him by stakeholders. And when you say most persons defected to the APC in support of the SVT minister, you mentioned yourself that Honorable Abiante was one of those who bought the forms expression of interest for the governor. He's a member of the House of Reps. So while the governor has his own supporters at the National Assembly, the FCT minister also has his own supporters at the National Assembly. So it won't be proper to say the National Assembly members defected to the APC because of the governor, because of the FCT minister. You also have members of the National Assembly who are also in support, strongly in support and loyal to the governor of Rivers State.
So here goes the question then. Who is able to deliver the most for the president in Rivers State? Because I think that is a very important part of this, on the one hand. And who is able to garner support for the governorship in that sense? What we saw the last time out was somehow the Rivers State people were able to vote differently for governorship and presidency, or the presidential election. So this time around, is that what we would have? Knowing fully well that the FCT minister, former governor, was very instrumental at that time. So who's going to deliver most for the president? Is it Governor Fubara or the FCT minister, who, by the way, says is not working with Governor Fubara this time around?
Yeah, that's a germane question. But I must tell you, Kayode, that in 2023, it was a different scenario. I don't know if you can hear me, please.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay. In 2023, it was a different scenario in the sense that the power of incumbency came to play, where you have a sitting governor who ordered his supporters to vote for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and also vote for Governor Fubara. But you see, in this instance now, as we speak, both persons, even though at loggerheads, they are working for the same person and for the same purpose. So while those who are loyal to Governor Fubara will still vote for the president, those who are loyal to the FCT minister will still vote for the president. So if in 2023, is it 2023, I think so, the president got maybe about, hypothetically, maybe about 5-6 million votes, for example, in 2023. Right now, he's going to maybe get about 8 million votes because there is no division in terms of the support for him and in terms of the loyalty. I can tell you that if you ask who will gather more support for the president, as we speak right now in Rivers State, I believe it is the governor of Rivers State because of the organic support he has. But that does not in any way vitiate the impact that the FCT minister will also make in terms of delivery of votes for the president of the country.
Can deliver. How, in that sense? Because we know that the FCT minister...
Sorry, I didn't get the first part. I didn't get the first part of your question.
Yeah, I'm trying to reaffirm, or at least reiterate, not reaffirm, reiterate what you said, saying you think that the governor would deliver more than the FCT minister. And I wonder what has changed. The FCT minister, instrumental to bringing Governor Fubara to power. We all know that it didn't have as much clout at that time. The FCT minister literally did the road work, the leg work, the handwork to get him into power. So how has he been able to transition to a type or similitude of the FCT minister who is able to pull that much weight?
Okay, the FCT minister, as at that time, like I said, we had the power. He had the power of incumbency. Don't forget, that is number one. And as at that time, the governor was relatively unknown. You're still talking. I don't know if you can hear me.
Listening to you.
I don't know if you can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can. I'm not talking. I'm listening
to you. Oh, thank you. I saw your lips moving. Well,
that's AI.
The FCT, that's what I talked about the power of incumbency. You understand? And you know how Nigerians are naturally, how they ingratiate themselves with whoever is in power. That it is just natural in this country. But as at that time, the governor was relatively unknown. But now this is the governor of the state that is well known and well loved by his people. If today the governor decides to move to another political party, you will be shocked at the schism in terms of who, that is, if the governor decides to move and decides to support another person, you'll be shocked at the level, the number of people that will move with the governor. But luckily, the governor is there and he has decided to deliver Rivers State to the president. And is also fully in support of the president. And that's why I said this time around, if it was a little bit difficult in 2023, it's going to be an easy one. It just goes to victory. Because both factions, even though they have loggerheads, both factions are in support of one man. That is the truth about it.
Well, whether the governor can deliver or not, he faces, possible contention from the former governor who, although has said that he's not supported any candidate yet, and that he's going to consult, and he has a rainbow coalition. I'd like you to speak to that rainbow coalition that is being touted, situated within the context of what is acceptable within rules of politicking in political party structure. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, contrary to the position that he has put out, there are suggestions that he's supporting two candidates, one from the PDP and another from the APC. And I wonder if that has anything to do with this rainbow coalition that is being touted.
Okay, the governor is not pusillanimous. He's not cowardly. He's not afraid of any electoral contest. And I tell you this with all amount of certainty, with settled conviction. Because in Rivers State, as we speak today, this is a man that when we say organic support, let me tell you, some people refer to him as stingy governor. And most cases, when you have somebody referred to as stingy governor, definitely you're not going to have the support, because Nigerians believe in the stomach infrastructure. But notwithstanding that, those who even say the governor is a stingy governor is because probably they don't have personal access to him and are not benefiting from him as a human being. But because of what he has done in the state, because of what he has done, this is a governor that did not just concentrate on infrastructure. He also concentrated or is concentrating on human capital development. So even though you're not a major beneficiary in terms of your closeness to him, you're also going to find that let's look at the health sector. For example, let's look at the health sector. I might not go to the governor to get $1 billion because of my nexus, my relationship with him. But if the governor fixes the health sector, I'm also a beneficiary. And that is what the governor is doing. And it has trickled down. A lot of persons, those even the commoners, those at the bottom of the pecking order, have all loved him because what hitherto they did not enjoy is being given to them on a platter of gold. And that is the organic support I'm talking about. So, and some people said, why is the governor not campaigning? No, it's not that he's not campaigning. He knows any day he commences his campaign, I will tell you the truth, it's going to be like a magnificent thunderbolt that will lighten up everywhere. The channels will be there, and you'll be dazed. Because when you see the crowd, he doesn't mobilize. That is the truth about it. He doesn't come out to say, take this amount and go and do this, mobilize crowd. No. If the governor today gets up to say, I am going to a place, you see the large turnout of people in support. And at the end of the day, he's not the type that will tell you, how many people came here, give them X amount as an incentive so that tomorrow, wherever he's going to do. No, he will just speak, go do whatever brought him there, and leave. That is the organic support we are talking about. Because of his style of leadership, because he doesn't bloviate. He's not a governor that bloviates. He believes in actions, not the high blood pressure of the certain rhetorics and anemia of concrete performance. This man believes in action. His word speaks for him. And that is why I am telling you that the man is not afraid at all. If whoever is brought out to contest with him will be pipped at the polls. In terms of the rainbow coalition you're talking about, it is the right of anybody to form any coalition. But the efficacy of that coalition is what we should look at. It is the right. You can form a coalition even in your bedroom. Let that coalition field any candidate. And let that candidate get to the polls with the governor. And you will be shocked. You will be staggered by the result, the way that candidate will be flawed by the governor.
Well, I was hoping that you would speak to the propriety of a coalition, rainbow coalition, because what it means would then be that it could be from both political parties, that the former governor is supposedly working for. He's a minister in the APC cabinet, and he's also a PDP member. So I was hoping you would speak to the propriety of the Rainbow Coalition.
Bukola, I did. What, you know, if you listen carefully to what I said it is a right. It is the right of anybody to form a coalition. You cannot deny anybody that right. So the FCT minister can form his own coalition. Like I said, it is the efficacy of it. Now you have the coalition from APC, you have that of PDP. Of course, like you know, he has his supporters in both parties. And so whether you like it or not, those supporters will be members of that coalition. But do they have the clout? Do they have that gravitas to hamstring the re-election of the governor? No, the coalition does not have that. That is the point I'm trying to make.
All right. What has changed? Because you are a former advisor to former Governor Nyesom Wike, and supposedly the House of Reps members who have led the charge to purchase the expression of interest and nomination forms for the governor were loyal, or maybe still loyal, to former Governor Nyesom Wike. So what has changed now with this groundswell of support that we're seeing for Governor Fubara? Is it because the governor now has the support of the All Progressives Congress and perhaps the support of the president to seek re-election?
Okay, the ground support is planked on, I think it's a referendum of the people's disapproval of a particular system of government and approval of another. You see, I don't intend to excoriate anybody. I don't intend to do that. But the truth is, when the FCT minister was the governor of River State, he was an imperial governor. You did not reason at tangents. You don't have question his actions, and so on. Even as FCT minister, you can see, even Channels is even a victim. Just recently, I had a rebuttal. Channels is a victim. Threats, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. And we had that for about 8 years. And secondly, the concentration was on infrastructure, building of bridges, building of that and this. No human capital development. For over 8 years, promotions were not made, and so on. Now, this man has come in, and while the human capital development, while the infrastructure development is going on, the human capital development is also taking place. And you can see human beings are relaxed. No threats of this, no threats of that. When the FCT was the governor, I can tell you that even former governors, he was threatening even former governors who were coming to the state to campaign or for one political reason or the other. But under this present dispensation, even the FCT comes to Port Harcourt. Everybody can get up tomorrow morning, get a place, rent a place, hire a place for his political reasons without any threat. And this is what Rivers persons appreciate. His style of governance, his paradigm, that is his modus operandi. That is what Rivers persons appreciate. And that is a love they have for him.
Indeed, and we hope that that love translates into votes in 2027.
It will translate, Bukola, I can assure you it
well,
will
we wish whichever candidate is running all the best, so we hold no sides here.
No, Bukola, yeah. You cannot wish all the candidates all the best. You can wish only the governor all the best.
I can. From where I stand.
That's on the lighter
we do not support any candidates.
I know, I said that's on the lighter note.
Indeed. Mr. Opunabo Inko Taria is a former special advisor to Governor Wike, and now, of course, evidently supporting Governor Fubara. Thank you so much for coming through on this conversation.
Thank you, Bukola, and thank you, Coyote.
We'll take a moment now. When we return, it will be time for another important conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.